The game is one thing, Carl, and it's a disappointing week. It was a disappointing second half. I was entertaining some friends during the game, so it was disappointing for them to see me in the state that I was in the second half. But what I'm most upset about, and I don't really know how to feel at them right now, and for the last day and a half, what I'm most upset about is the people who say they're Seahawks fans on social media just trashing the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should just tell everyone to go fuck themselves, all those assholes, because they're not real Seahawks fans. And if you're running a Seahawks account and you're posting things like embarrassed, I think you should just give up the Seahawks football account. Everyone needs to chill the fuck out, understand that it is week 2, and we played a really good football team. Sure, they didn't look good in week 1, but they played really well. They made some mistakes in the first half on defense, and we obviously had a big lead. But their offense is pretty good when Derrick Henry has it going. That dude is unstoppable. And honestly, like, I look at his stat line.
Yeah.
But look at his stat line and take that 160-yard run out of it. And the front line actually did a pretty good job against them, right?
I agree. Pretty good.
So he had 35 carries for 182 yards. Take that 160-yard gain out. So he had 34 carries for 120 yards, let's say. So that's 3.4 yard average.
Which is pretty average.
No,
Nothing
that's
special.
really good. That, like, from a defense, that's good, right?
But Derrick Henry? Oh, from a defense, yes, that's what I'm saying.
From a defense, that's really good.
From that point, yeah.
Holding the best running back in the league to 3.5 yards a carry. So, like, that is not what I'm upset about at all. I'm upset a little bit about just the effort in the second half seemed weird. It was a weird second half. Like, it seemed like anything that could go wrong went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 really stupid penalties at key points in the game. Like that taunting penalty on DJ. This is the point I really am really excited to make, is that DJ Reed is not a good football player, right? He's not good. You, as a not good football player, when one thing goes right, you should not be that excited that you're getting taunting penalties, especially. This is also what I think. When you're not a good football player, you need to be so smart mentally and you need to understand situations so that as a not good football player, you're not also compounding not being a good football player with stupid penalties.
Yeah.
That was like a 3rd and 10 play.
Yes, it was.
That got broken up. So they would have been punting.
Mm-hmm.
And he single-handedly kept the drive alive because of that.
Yeah.
And that's what loses football games. And then the Jamal Adams one, I'm not super, super upset about. I think he is a very emotional, high energy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a split second thing. And all he's trying to do is get in the QB's face, and his helmet kissed off of the helmet of Tannehill's. Like, it was not abrasive. It was not a hard hit. It was, at the moment in the game, to me, that should not be a penalty. I understand what the NFL is trying to do in protecting quarterbacks because quarterbacks sell the league. But at the same time, come on, man. It's 3rd and 6. It's a pretty good pass rush. He throws the ball away. Like, they don't have a completion. And the refs are just giving them a new first down. It's too penalizing for such a mediocre call.
And it's so fucking devastating for your team, a call like that. The thing with Jamal Adams is he's going 120% the entire time. Most tackles, he's leaving his feet and he's in midair. Like, how is he supposed to stop that? Like, we talked about this so much last year, these little tic-tac plays,
Totally.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you're protecting the offense too much. I don't know. What do we do?
I understand the calls. I understand why they have these rules. I understand, but the point I'm trying to make is I think football needs to be situational. It's a very situational sport.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 3rd and 6 in overtime and you're giving a really mediocre roughing the passer penalty
in a tight game.
Fuck off. It's interesting that after the game, and I have a lot to say about the commentators because they were tragic.
So bad.
I would put these guys in the same category currently as DJ Reed, and that is not good at football. But after the game, goes back to the sports desk, supposedly the qualified guys. And the first thing they say is the reffing today has been horrific. Which, as a sports fan who often yells at the refs for these bullshit calls, it's nice to hear that I'm not the only one thinking that.
Yeah. It's a common idea. Yeah. Everyone can see it.
Where do you want to start? Man, there's a lot.
Let's start with the defense.
Okay, so we're going to come back to the commentators?
Let's come back to the commentators. Yeah. Let's start with the defense here.
I'm not super upset. I'm not really worried about the defense. I think we played a better team this week, and a lot of the game went pretty well.
Yep.
The first half, the defense looked pretty good. Mm-hmm. What I will say that was a little disappointing and hopefully not like a big step in the wrong direction was their pass rush was not nearly as consistent as it was against the Colts.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the like O-line comparisons of the two teams, but Tannehill had way more time to throw on a lot of occasions than Wentz did last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what that just really highlights is how bad our corners are.
Yeah. Like we talked about it, I think they're the weakest part of our team by far. I mean, I think
they got to be the weakest corner group in the NFL right now.
Bottom five, Trey Flowers and fucking DJ Reed.
Man, both are just a straight liability.
Yeah.
At least Flowers is a bigger cat. Like he's a big body.
Mm-hmm.
And when the best running back in the league breaks outside of the tackle box, he makes tackles.
Yeah.
Flowers makes tackles.
Yeah, he does.
DJ Reed is about 5'9", $135,
mm-hmm.
and he does not make tackles, nor can he cover anyone. And this is why we need someone to play corner. Do we have any idea what's happening with the Sidney Love cat? Because I feel like
Sidney Jones,
Jones, whatever he is, and I don't know who he is other than he was a decent corner in Jacksonville last year, or their best corner. It's got to be worth a chance. Like, let's give him a shot.
No, I agree. What's the reason? I mean, Flowers and Reed ain't doing nothing. I think, yeah. Like Tennessee Titans, they handle our DNs a lot better than Indianapolis did.
So much better. One of my comments was, last week, it seemed like Rasheem Green was a beast, and he was all over the place, and he was involved so much of the game,
mm-hmm.
and in Wentz's face all game. And this week, I don't think the commentator said his name one time. Like I
don't think so. He got shut down, man.
I opened up the box score today, coming into the podcast, and the first thing I was looking at was, is Rasheem Green hurt, and did he play yesterday?
Right. And he's not hurt.
No, he played, and he had 2 tackles, apparently. It was a different game. I mean, again, I think Tennessee is a much better team than Indianapolis. I think Tennessee is way better than the week 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I still think they're a playoff team. And I think a lot of shit went sideways and went wrong for the Seahawks to lose that game yesterday. Yeah. It is what it is. Like, Seahawks fans need to chill the fuck out and understand that the goal of this season, the goal of any season, is not to go undefeated. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter, right? Like, the Bucs last year started the season 1-27, and then squeaked into the playoffs and won the Super Bowl.
It's all about getting hot at the right time. One more thing I gotta mention about the D is the only reason I think we're in the game at all is because of Bobby Wagner, man. That guy is still a monster. Still a monster. Did you see his stats? I think he had 20 tackles or some crazy something.
He is just a freak of nature, that guy.
Yeah, he's 16 tackles, 4 assist tackles, and 1 sack. I mean,
his style is so, I would say, curious.
yeah.
Like I've never met him. I'd like to meet him. If the opportunity arises, I'd like to put my hat in the ring. If there's like a fan thing,
a raffle?
podcast thing. Like if you run a Seahawks podcast, you get to meet Bobby Wagner. I'm interested in this. Can you like call a few people and try to set that up?
Yeah, with Bobby, just see what he's up to.
I mean, just like a 10-minute conversation would be great.
Try, yeah.
He must be like one of the most intelligent people in the NFL because I was watching him so closely in the second half, and he just doesn't get beat.
No, he doesn't. His
guys catch the ball on him.
Yeah.
Guys catch the ball on him a lot, but they're tackled immediately for a 4 or 5 yard gain, right?
His footwork is fantastic.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. So I had to shout him out, man, because he's nice.
100%.
And we're so lucky to have him still, man.
I have a lot of notes from the game, and one of them was Wagner. Wagner is a fucking legend with the emoji of like the exploding head.
Perfect. That is perfect. Yeah, there we go.
What went wrong in the second half? To me, there was a few things, but what stood out for you?
Our offense, we stopped going away completely from short passes, and everything was a 50-50 ball to the receivers. And it's too inconsistent to beat good teams like that. What do you think?
They played really conservative in the second half on offense. I think I'd like to call out Waldron and note that the play calling was atrocious in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
It was shockingly bad. Like, there was a number of times where we got ourselves into like 3rd and 9s because we ran the ball 2 times.
Yeah.
Or like, also this is one of my notes. I fucking hate running the ball on 3rd and 3. I think it's the worst play call of all time. I hate it.
The problem
look at our run game, Carl.
No, I was going to say
we didn't have a run game.
Yeah.
Why are we running the ball on 3rd and 3 in the 4th quarter?
That's a fantastic question, Denny. I don't know. Got nothing done on the ground.
The Seahawks run game was 18 total carries for 77 yards. Chris Carson had 13 carries for 31 yards. That's a staggering 2 yards a carry.
That's bad.
And yet, Waldron, Pete, I don't know who is pulling the strings over there, but figure your shit out. It's not the right play call in the 4th quarter and in overtime to run the ball on 3rd and 3.
Like, we're back to this issue, right? Like, we're kind of forcing the run. If it's not working the entire game, we keep going back to it. Why?
It's a weird thing that the Seahawks have never been good at, but they've never been able to put teams away.
Yeah.
They never win games by 2 or 3 scores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ever. They're up by 14 at halftime, 14 or 15. They're up by 14 going into the 4th quarter, I think. I don't understand. Why is it so conservative?
How much do you think you can blame Russell Wilson?
When you look at his stat lines, it's hard to blame him. So
Correct.
I would say that was almost one of the best catches in the history of football. I don't know if anyone saw that, but that looked like a Calvin Johnson like highlight reel.
Oh my God, that would have been disgusting. Oh, if he could have held on. Nuts, oh yeah. Yeah, Russell Wilson.
I don't know. And I'd say in the second half and overtime, he was very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that is, should we put the blame on him? Should we put the blame on Waldron for the play calling? Do we put the blame on Pete Carroll for being in Waldron's ear probably at halftime and saying, hey, we need to run out the clock?
That's what I'm afraid is happening.
I'm hoping that this is like how many times did we say this last year?
I know.
This is going to be a good learning experience for the Seahawks. They're going to come back stronger next week. And next time they have a 7-point lead going into the 4th quarter, they're still going to throw the ball because that's what the best player on their team does. I don't know. I mean, I think Russ knows that in overtime, they got a possession.
Yeah.
and they had the second possession of overtime, so they only had to get a field goal. They started on their own 13 or something, so I mean they've got a long field, but they went 3 and out with 3 incompletions, punted the ball back, and gave Tennessee phenomenal field position, right?
Yeah.
So the best players in the league make plays at the right time, and Russ has a really good history of that. How many winning drives of games, like how many big throws in the fourth quarter? So I don't want to necessarily, throw much blame at him after one missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It's one loss. It is what it is. Again, like the best team in the NFL, I think, lost last night too.
Yep.
No team is trying to go 17-0.
No, I know. No. I think Russ is just holding the ball a little bit too long in some of those situations. And those 50-50 balls to his receivers, I don't like. Like Everett and Disley had one reception between the two of them. Mm-hmm. Like we have no short game. And I think, and that's kind of the problem why we go 3 and out so many times, right? Like our average drive is like 4.5 possessions long.
Why do you think the tight ends aren't being used? Because my thought is the O-line was not nearly as good as they were in the first game.
No, I agree.
So Russ did not have a lot of time. And usually the tight ends are like the third option, right? They're checkdowns.
Yep.
And so if someone is in your face in 2 seconds, you don't have time to get to the check down.
Yeah, I know.
So, and honestly, I would rather Russ hold on to the ball longer, if that is what you're thinking is a potential issue, than try to force things and cause turnovers, right?
But why force? They just move the ball quicker. Just get it out of his hands quicker. One reception for these tight ends, and they're running double tight end sets too. Like, it's peculiar. Also, I would love to see Alex Collins more. He had 1 run for 25 yards, and that's it. And he never saw the field again. I mean, if Carson's struggling like that, let's see Collins more. Just a few things, man. But yeah, it's week 2.
When you look at Russell Wilson's stat lines, like I mentioned, it's hard to like put blame on him after like the 2 games that he's had, right? He had, what did he have? 4 touchdowns, 270 yards or something in game 1. And he had 4 incompletions or something, 5 incompletions. And then yesterday he was 22 of 31, 343 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but if Lockett doesn't make some of those big plays, he's in the 250s easily.
I don't think they're throwing the ball enough.
I don't think so either.
And again, like they don't have many possessions. Like
this is
why do they only have 49 snaps?
Guys quarterbacks in the league are getting 50 passes off.
Even Tannehill was 27 of 40. Look at, holy fuck! I never even noticed this, but look at that.
Yeah, he had 40 attempts, and then
but they had 80 snaps.
Yeah,
they had 40 rushing attempts and 40 passes.
It's because
and the Seahawks had 49 total snaps.
What's their offense time on the field? Because it's not a lot, man. We do, like you said, 2 runs, a long ball, and then we're fucking punting.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They almost had double the snaps.
And we still such a close game, eh? That's a big issue. Shit.
I don't know. I don't know why Alex Collins isn't there. Like Dallas didn't even touch the ball.
Nope. Special teams only.
I know.
A lot of weird things are going on, eh?
It was a weird second half.
Yeah, it was.
Like, to me, it was those 2 penalties that were huge on big third downs that would have got us off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the offensive play calling was not good at all.
No. It's predictable, right? Just a boring fucking run pass back to our old stuff.
Second series so these are some other notes I have. Second series of the game, they go deep, incomplete.
Yeah.
And then run the ball twice and punt it.
I can't, you run the ball back to back when your run's not, like, what are you trying to catch them by surprise? The defense isn't even respecting your run at all.
I just don't, I don't know. I don't know why this is such a consistent long-term problem. It's always been like that though. It's been like that for years and years and years. Why? Why do we run the ball and then we have 2nd and 9 and then run the ball again? Then we have 2nd and 7 or 3rd and 7. And then teams are blitzing you. We have the worst offensive line in the league. And so Russell Wilson has 0.95 seconds
because
to make a play.
Because it's predictable play calling,
it's
right?
So
and the defense is picking it all up. Yeah, you're 100% correct.
So I think Russ is going to be totally fine. Everyone needs to chill the fuck out. But I don't know about you, Carl. I am frustrated with DK Metcalf.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with his productivity, because his productivity relies a lot on other teams' defensive schemes, our play calling, and how many times Russell Wilson throws the ball, right?
Yeah.
If he's throwing the ball 25 times a game, guess what?
It's impossible.
DK is only going to be targeted 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But what I'm not interested in, and I don't understand, and I want you to try to explain this to me, is why? Why is his attitude, why is this shit so bad?
I don't know.
Look at this. This is next level.
Nachos. What restaurant is this?
Why is the freak out happen every game now?
I don't know. I think DBs just know what to say to him.
No shit. And it must not be that hard.
No, I mean, you could probably rattle them pretty well, man.
I don't understand. Every single game, it seems like he gets in a fight with someone.
The DBs just start talking trash and they just completely take him out of the game. And then Lockett's the only one really doing anything in the first half. And we've seen that over the last 2 games now.
They're literally exact opposites of each other, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like Lockett, very intelligent guy. He seems like he just is not flustered by anything or nothing that happens during a game. And DK is like ultra emotional. Like no matter what happens, he's fighting someone. Like he's like almost defensive of who gives a fuck, man. And then he takes stupid penalties.
Yes.
And he's like, and then they show him on the sideline after a stupid penalty. He's like crying that he didn't deserve a penalty.
I know.
Dude, you just punched a guy in the face on the sideline after the play was over.
But that's so emotional, right? He walks on the side and he's still harboring all that. He takes it with him. I don't know. It's like the DBs say something to him. I think his hands are still a little bit suspect sometimes. Like he's dropping easy balls, and I think it just gets to him, and it takes him completely out of the game. He's such a freak, man. But it's just mental with him.
Is he going to have a breakout game in the next couple of weeks, do you think? Or do you think this is spiraling?
Oh, boy.
Because this week he looked really bad.
I would say, flip a coin. It can go either way, I think.
I think we were saying the same thing at the beginning of last season. Not so much about the like emotional spazzes and tantrums, but more just about like he wasn't getting the ball a lot early in the year. And then he had like that one game where he had like 160 yards or something. And then obviously had a really good season, over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I can't stand the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. I don't get it.
No.
Like DJ Reed, not a good football player. Why is that even an option of things that happen? You need to have 4 good seasons in a row where you're a stud, like a Richard Sherman, where you're the best corner in the league. And then you deserve to be able to talk to people.
He's doing this to one of the top 2 receivers in the fucking entire league.
And that was his first breakup in the game.
Great play. Absolutely no need for that. Yeah, little mental things. We had a lot of over 100 yards and penalties. A lot of mental mistakes yesterday.
Some of them just at such key points in the game too.
3rd and 11 and then
The one in over, I don't know. Can you figure out DK? Call him up too. We need to have 10 minutes with him.
I think DK just needs to get hot early in a game. You need to look for him early on so he can just get the confidence going. And I think if you want DK to be one of the best receivers in the entire league, he needs more than 5 targets a game. That's crazy. But then it comes back to our initial problem, right? We don't have enough possessions.
The problem is the play calling. The problem is we're not getting that many snaps.
But like the top wide receivers in the league are getting between like 9 and 18 like targets a game, man.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I don't think so.
On the Seahawks, I think Lockett is always going to get more targets because for some reason, like Lockett's in a great position.
Yeah.
For some reason, teams potentially are overestimating DK Metcalf right now and putting a lot of attention on him when, man, Lockett, can you remember the last time he dropped the ball?
No.
It
Dude,
seems
I
like
love
every
Lockett,
time he's
man.
targeted, he's so good.
So good. And he'll always make a play on it, right? He always has a chance. Like any 50-50 ball, it's going to be like 70-30 for him, maybe even higher.
So my next point is I have some advice for other teams. And if other teams run double moves with their receivers on Trey Flowers, he will fall over.
It's over. Yeah.
He'll fall over.
Yeah.
There was one that was so bad I think it was the second quarter. These are my two notes, man. Flowers looked so bad, almost tripped on the double move. And then my next note was Reed sucks too. What a break, Jesus. There was, man. So being a good corner doesn't mean necessarily that you need to be toe-to-toe with a guy. If someone's faster than you, you need to understand that you need to give them a little more space, but then you need to break really quickly, right? If they're running a 10-yard out and you're 5 yards off of them and they break to that out, you need to break real quick.
Yeah.
And there was one that they showed a replay, and it was this exact scenario that I'm talking about. Someone ran a 10-yard out, and DJ Reed's break was so slow.
It's so bad, eh?
It was unbelievable.
But it's not because he's a slow guy. It's just mentally, like, he just can't make the read, an adjustment quick enough.
I don't know if he's a corner.
Really? You think he's a little bit out of position
This
there?
is his first year that he's ever played corner. Right? He played, I don't know what he played in university, maybe like a strong safety or something. But he was like a nickel guy last year, so they only used him in very specific defensive packages.
Yeah.
But we literally just don't have anyone at that position. So they're like, put him in.
Oh, I know. This is a crazy comparison, but like him versus Jalen Ramsey, right? Just compare. Like, how do you think Jalen Ramsey is quicker? Do you think he's faster? Or do you think he just has a complete better understanding of the game?
Jalen Ramsey is bigger. I think he's quicker.
So you think he's more athletic?
I don't know enough about both of the guys to say who is going to win in a 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
But Jalen Ramsey's break on the football is unconsciously good. He's so good at that. And he's just a way bigger body. So he just does things. He's probably way stronger. He probably weighs an extra 30 pounds than Reed. But like in press coverages and stuff like that against more physical receivers like a DK or something like that, he dominates them. Like he's really good at that. Those are literally the two opposites at that position in the NFL.
In the NFL, I know. How do we get him there?
So some other notes. I like to give credit to the Russell Wilson and the Seahawks offense on that 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. It looked so good. Took them like 40 seconds.
Oh my God.
They scored a touchdown and they did not use a timeout. Very good. Props. What happened to that? In overtime, boys. I got another note on Reed, but we've already spent some time on him.
Yeah, poor Reed. Fuck him.
And then my next one, like we talked about Rasheem Green, but like Dunlap and Rasheem Green were two guys that like didn't even seem like they were on the field. And I'm confused about that.
After the impact in week 1, right?
Yeah.
Did the Titans just watch the game film and just pick them up that much? But still, man,
Is Dunlap hurt?
These guys are freaks.
Like, I don't get it.
Did Benson play at all?
Yeah. I saw and noticed him a lot more than Dunlap and Green.
Interesting.
I did make a note that the pass rush was not good for most of the game, but in the fourth quarter, they came up pretty big on a couple plays.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like late in the fourth quarter. I can't remember. Maybe it was right before Adams got that roughing the passer penalty. Yeah. But there was a few plays in a row where they put a lot of pressure on Tannehill and got incompletions. I don't know. That's all I got. I'd say overall, I'm not really too worried about the season, but say the two biggest takeaways from this game were undisciplined.
Yeah.
And that needs to change or the season goes downhill very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a weakness of the team is still the offensive coordinator position. Even in game one, like the play calling was maybe slightly more unpredictable. Like one notch in that direction.
Yeah.
But there's still times as a fan, like obviously I watch all the games and I am familiar with what the Seahawks do on offense. And I can only imagine how much more time defensive coordinators spend watching game film of the Seahawks to be able to predict what they're doing on certain down and distances. And it is comically hilarious that most teams in the league know exactly what is going on for the Seahawks offense.
Yeah, because they line up their guys in specific places and they know exactly what's going to happen. And usually most of these plays have like one look out of them that Russell's focusing on.
And you pair that with the fact that our O-line for the last few years has been really bad. So he only gets a chance to look at guy number one, maybe guy number two, but he doesn't have it.
It's a great point, yeah.
Overall, I'm still excited about the team. I think defensively they're better than last year. Even in this Titans game, I made a few points that I still am not discouraged at all by the defensive effort. I'd say I'd love to see the pass rush look more like game one than game two this year. Yeah. But at the same time, I think they're pretty good against the run.
I was very surprised.
A lot of people, and fuck you guys on all the commentator bullshit. Like you need to understand that if there's one run that is 60 yards, it's not you're averaging it out over the entire amount of carries, but 35 carries is a shit ton of
35
runs.
Is insane. You'll never see that again this year in the league.
It's so
unless it's Derrick Henry again.
Exactly. It was like what was the really good Baltimore running back? There's like a few guys who used to get that many carries, but their careers are like 4 years because they're just getting pounded every game.
Yeah.
How long has Henry been good? Is this like his third good year?
He's 2,000 yards the last 2 years. I think it's fourth year, good year.
Third or fourth?
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of contact.
Dude, what people say usually like running backs that rush for 2,000 don't get anywhere near that the next year because you get so beat up.
Who's the who's the guy with the biggest longevity? Is it the Minnesota guy?
Frank Gore.
Peterson, right?
Oh, Adrian Peterson's up there, yeah. Him and Frank Gore.
No? Who is it?
I think it's Frank Gore, man.
LaDainian Tomlinson?
Oh, yeah, he's up there too.
He had more years than Peterson?
Yeah. He was with his ACL.
But he was good for a bunch of years, wasn't he?
I'd say like 3 years.
3? That's it?
You think more?
I thought he was like a good running back into his like 32, 33 years.
But like how long do you think his career was?
I don't know. I mean, Marshawn was good into his 30s, but he didn't carry the ball that many times. But it seemed like Adrian Peterson had 35, 40 carries a game.
They were just giving him the ball, just riding him the entire game. Yeah.
LT too, yeah.
LaDainian, that's, yeah. But then those guys disappear so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Running back is a tough position. tough position.
Getting a regular Sunday game is tragic because you have to listen to these fucking boneheads that don't know anything about football. They obviously never played football. Dude, Thurman, I don't know if you watched the Seahawks game. I'm assuming you didn't. But they don't give any pregame coverage to most games. It's just like the, whatever, NBC or CBS booth that's just talking about every game from the morning. And then it just like, the TV cuts out and then it cuts to your game as the kickoff is happening.
Yeah.
And the first image that you get is these two guys that are wearing these blazers from 1973 that have a big ass CBS logo on the chest. And immediately as a fan, my first thought is, oh boy, we're in for some shit today.
Yeah.
And their comments are just so surface level. Like, oh, Russell Wilson scrambled and tossed it out. That one went out of bounds there, Jim.
Just general dad comments, eh? Just no depth.
Literally no understanding of what is actually happening in the game. And I don't understand how big corporations probably pay these guys a lot of money.
Oh,
why can't they get some quality? Give me something. Give me Tony Romo.
Yeah.
I would rather see the NFL completely change their schedule to get Tony Romo to commentate every single fucking game of the week. So they have 3 games on Tuesday, 3 games on Wednesday, 3 games on Thursday, all the way through the week. So someone who is slightly intelligent, well, he's actually really good. I'm just making a point. But someone who's actually good at this thing can share with people that want to watch the games.
Do you know what I want to see more? I want to see more guys that are 1 or 2 years retired and come back and announce. Like Tampa Bay.
So I think it was you or Lucas that said Greg Olsen was really good. I didn't listen to that game at all, so I don't know. But like, it's not always true because Troy Aikman is tragic.
But he's like don't count Troy Aikman.
He's not good.
He's so general. I just want guys that like
so good. The Raiders coach Gruden.
Yes.
Remember when he took a couple of years off coaching and he was like 2 or 3 years broadcasting? He was so good too.
Because he was out of the environment like pretty recently, right? So he's still involved with the whole community, the locker room, the guys. So they don't talk the way that these announcers talk. No. So when they get on, it's so different. You actually get a completely different perspective, man. And a lot of insights that you don't normally see.
Just some of the comments, man. It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I look at Jordan, like watching the games. I'm like, did you understand what he just said? And she's like, it kind of sounded weird. I was like, yeah, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's saying.
Or like the Kansas City Baltimore game. Whoa, another jump pass. Or was that a jump pass? Oh, like just goes nowhere.
There's nothing to say. So yeah. I don't understand why that happens though. In most industries, the best people rise to the top. It seems like in NFL broadcasting,
there's no personality.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Is it just the big corporation bullshit?
I think so. You just got to be so careful of what you say.
You follow the rules.
So unbiased, right? And now these guys are like, oh my God, I might lose my job if one word slips out. I think that has a big part of it, the whole cancel culture for sure.
Guys last year, the guy, I think his name was like Kenny G or something. The guy who did the game last week, like, man, it's just so bad.
Yeah, the American smooth jazz saxophonist, right?
Good news is, you know, what's the guy that does Sunday nights? The white guy, he's been broadcasting forever.
Al Michaels? Chris Collinsworth? Yeah.
He's not bad.
No, he's not.
I'd take him any day over Kenny G. And wherever the hell the guys' names were yesterday, like Fred and Tom, probably. The Blazers, man. I don't know if you noticed it. Do you notice what they're wearing?
No, I don't. But you noticed this whole suit and the blazer and everything?
It goes to them like a few times during the game, and they just have a big ass CBS logo on the chest of their blazer, their like navy blazer that is like 4 sizes too big. It's like they just have a fucking rack of these at the broadcast center, and when you show up for work, they just give you the first one that they pull out of the closet.
Yeah, this is lost and found.
Should we move forward? I would like to note, though, that the NFL is unlike any other league, that the ridiculous athleticism of the human beings that are in this league is unlike any other. The people that are playing this sport are freak athletes, and they're really, really, really good. Bad teams can beat good teams on any week.
Yeah.
If a couple things don't go their way, a couple penalties at like big moments in the game, a fumble like Edwards-Helaire last night at the wrong time of the game.
Yeah.
It happens every week.
Mm-hmm.
And so fans need to chill. I don't understand the negativity of a lot of the Seahawks accounts. It's like we played a really good team yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost by 3, and we easily should have won that game.
Yeah.
So, like, let's take it for what it is. It's an unlucky break. It was a bad second half. Happens every single season. Move forward. Like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I still think there's a lot of positives on this team. I think there's a lot of things that can be improved, but there's a lot of positives, and the league is ridiculously good.
Oh my God, so good.
The kids, man, the kids are good. The kids that play this stupid sport in the NFL.
There's, yes, a lot of
Like,
young
their children. They're so, dude, how old is Patrick Mahomes? He's like a freak.
17, yeah.
How old is he now?
Crazy.
25 probably?
25, yeah.
It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. Like, just the reality that they live in. Patrick Mahomes makes what? $50 million a year as a 25-year-old, and he's like the best kid in the league. It's crazy.
Yeah. Great attitude, right? And does like one of those guys that's, I don't think he's going to get into trouble, right?
No.
Just the face of the league. Good, clean face.
You would assume $50 million might alter that.
He's in
behavior a
Kansas
little bit.
City. What can you do there?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a really good point. If he's in Vegas, he might get a little
Different story.
scary.
Yeah. Miami, yeah.
That's why Miami's football team is never good, eh?
They all just party
Too many
hard.
distractions.
Yeah. All beautiful Latin women, yeah.
Let's mention a few teams that maybe surprised us or are kind of back on track.
Okay.
I think the Bills are back on track. They had a big convincing win.
Me too, yeah.
They're better than they were in the first week. It's a long season. I think they're going to be totally fine. They're a really good playoff team, I think. The Rams are beatable. I said this last week. I don't think they're as good as people think they are. I think Stafford is a middle of the road guy.
Yeah.
They squeaked out a victory against the Colts. The Colts are, I don't know. Are they a 500 team this year, maybe?
I think so. I think that's pretty safe.
Something like that.
Yeah. Just that it's tough because they have a new quarterback, but they have a good running back and they have a great defense. So I think 500 is pretty safe.
The Niners played one of the worst teams in the league and won by 6.
That was fucking ugly.
So
They're still going Garoppolo.
I was watching some preseason stuff, and a couple of these, as we've kind of discussed, these announcers on TV talked about the 49ers as potentially the best team in the NFC West.
Why? What?
I mean, obviously incorrect.
Dude, when we were talking like preseason, I thought they'd be the worst.
They are the worst.
They are the worst,
They're
right?
the worst
Okay,
team in the
yeah.
division, for sure.
Yeah.
Arizona's 2-0. The Rams are 2-0. The Rams arguably the best team in the league. I think Seattle is better than people think they are.
Yeah.
And I think there's 3 really good teams in our division.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun to kind of watch the season unfold with these teams because the Cardinals are good. I just don't think they're the same level.
No.
I think the Rams are a top 3 team in the league.
Yeah.
I think Seattle is like top 5. They're very close when they put it together. And the Cardinals maybe like a top 8 or 9.
I think
they're really close.
Yeah. I think the defense for the Rams puts them over the edge. I think both those
100%.
teams are just a little bit. But offensively, I think it's nothing special.
But at the same time, they gave up 20. What did they give up? 24.
Yeah. Who knows?
Give up 18 in the second half. The Raiders are 2-0. They beat the Steelers.
I kind of
Is
like
that-
the Raiders.
Are they a contender in the AFC?
I think maybe Carr is starting to figure it out. And then you got
Carr
like
had a-
Darren Waller. And
Carr had a phenomenal week.
yeah.
Carr
I
was
like the
28 for
Raiders.
37, 382 yards, 2 TDs.
The Raiders have been shit for so long. I think they deserve a couple W's, man.
Is that all it takes? Move to Vegas?
Man, I don't know. Good for them.
These Saints show that they're not good at all.
Dude, we were
Even
so
though they had
high.
such a big week.
I
man.
know. We were so high on the Saints last week and they just lose to the Panthers 26-7.
The Bucks are 2-0.
Yeah, looking good.
The Cowboys bounce back. I think the
Mhm.
Cowboys are worth a mention. I think they are a playoff team. I don't know if they are a top 3 team in the NFC, though.
But they should win their division this year pretty easily, eh? Convincingly.
Well, their division is pretty garbage.
Pretty garbage, as usual, yeah.
Who do they have? They have Philly,
Washington, Philly.
Washington, and
What's the
Carolina.
Is it? Give me a second. Giants.
Yeah, New York is not good.
No, not good.
Then the Titans, worth a mention, have a big bounce back win. I think they're a good team.
Good team.
The Chiefs lose last night by 1 to the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams had a lot of turnovers, which is not a winning formula.
Yep.
Do you like the Ravens?
No.
Neither do I. Honestly,
they just run the ball. They're just so
everything
boring.
went right for them last night. It seemed like.
I think Lamar Jackson just played out of his mind too. And like he knew that like he's never beat the Chiefs or whatever. He's always had shitty games. So I think this was a one-off. If they play the Chiefs again, I don't think they beat them.
I will say this until he proves me wrong. I don't think that guy is a playoff winning quarterback.
What about those jump passes though, Denny?
It's so stupid. Like it's so why?
I know. It looks cool. The commentators love it.
Man, it's so dumb. I don't get it. I don't think so. I think they're a top 5 team in the AFC.
Yeah.
But I do not think they are a serious contender for the AFC Championship.
No.
I think the Chiefs are better. I think the Bills are probably better. I think they're at the same level as the Titans as like a next tier team.
Okay.
I think the Raiders are in that conversation.
Okay. Like same.
I mean, they
level.
just beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's so early in the season though. It's so hard to like. How often these things change? Like someone starts 4-0 and then they like finish the season at 8-8.
Yeah. No, you see this all the time.
Right,
Plus we get an extra game this season.
Totally.
And I mean, last year the Seahawks started off so well and then they dipped and we never recovered.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we're dipping right now. We figure it out quick and we just get hot at the right time.
Yeah, man. It was a frustrating second half. I'm hoping it was frustrating for the guys too, and it's a little
I think so.
Kicking the ass.
I think there's gonna be a lot of talking between guys and stuff. The one like the whole head case like situation with those guys, the one thing I do like is like Seattle seems like one of those organizations, Pete Carroll, that will sit you down and talk to you and try and figure it out, right? Like they nipped that in the bud pretty quick. I hope so too.
I hope so.
That's what I'm going with.
There's one other thing. I'm not worried about the defense though. Oh, a lot of people hate on our D coordinator a lot.
Yeah.
Is there like a big reason for that? Like, do fans understand that we've had a terrible, really bad cast on the defense, right?
Really bad.
Like there wasn't players there for a while, for years.
Oh yeah.
Right? It was Bobby Wagner and then a bunch of mediocre NFL players. So I don't understand, like a good scheme is not going to help if you don't have people to implement a scheme.
Very true. I mean, if guys are just getting beat 1-on-1, what can you do?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If the quarterback has 19 seconds to throw the ball and we don't have corners that can cover good receivers, let alone like mediocre receivers, like what? I don't understand.
I don't know.
It's not, has nothing to do with the coordinator.
I mean, coordinator, if we're just getting beat consistently, like bad, zone defenses that are just being thrown over or whatever, you can blame them then, but we're not seeing that.
I think their cast is way better this year. The guys on the
coaching
squad.
Staff?
No, the guys on the squad.
Yes, yeah.
The defensive, like the starters on the defense are way better, I think, than the last couple of years. So maybe this season is more of an opportunity for this Norton guy. I don't know a lot about him, but more of an opportunity to do something. And to me, game 1, very good.
Yeah.
Game 2, not bad.
Not bad. First half especially was good.
First half was very good.
Very good.
They held them to 3 field goals in the red zone. Dude, that's a winning formula.
Let's see that more often.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
In the second half, the penalties hurt them more than the defense did. We have 2 tragic guys at corners, which sucks.
Yeah.
Thurman could play corner for the Seahawks.
It's quick.
Dude.
Thurman's quick.
Welcome to our life, though. DJ Reed isn't the quickest.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Every single week I come into the week and I sit down, I put my nice jersey on, turn the game on, have to listen to these bullshit commentators start the game. And then I think to myself, I would love for this week to be the week that Trey Flowers proves me wrong. And I've been saying that for 18 weeks, 19 weeks. Carl.
I know. It's been a long
all of last
time.
season, playoff game, and 2 games this year. And it's just not good. It's not good. Does Richard Sherman have a team? Did he go somewhere?
That's what people are talking about. No, I think he's a free agent right now and he's looking to sign somewhere.
Anything. Try anything. Ken, Pete, Waldron, throw your fucking hat in the ring. Like,
let's see Sidney Jones. Why not, right? It can't be any worse.
I don't know. Is he injured? Like,
I don't think
did he
so.
dress last week? I don't know. Or this week? Something.
Weird.
Let's make a prediction. We'll find out later. If someone knows if Sidney Jones is capable, interested in playing for the Seahawks.
It just says that he's had an Achilles injury that he's been battling, but he's good to go.
So maybe
now.
that's why.
Maybe he slowed down a little bit.
Maybe he's just not 100%.
Okay.
Also, he's been with the team for a total of like 12 days.
Yeah.
So it's probably a bit of an adjustment in terms of learning a new system.
He's still looking for a place in Seattle.
But at the same time, we just need an athletic guy out there to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Prediction next week, Carl.
We got Minnesota.
We are in Minnesota. 125. So we got the primetime game for the mediocre announcers. That's going to be exciting. Most typical, man, it's funny that these big networks just get the most typical white name guys of all time, right? We got fucking Kenny, week 1.
Yeah.
And we got, what do we have last week? Bill?
Just general, yeah. John.
What do we got next week? Yeah.
Jacob.
Walter.
Minnesota.
Still
Kirk Cousins
lost this week to the
Arizona
Cardinals.
Yeah. They missed a field goal, I believe.
They did miss a field goal right at the end.
Shanked it. I mean, Minnesota's still a pretty decent team. Great running back. Subpar quarterback. I think they'll put some points on the board. I think Seahawks will continue that. I want to say it's going to be kind of a close game, high scoring. I'll say 33-27. I'll say really high scoring.
I have little faith in our offensive play calling, and I have little faith in us ever putting a game away until they prove me wrong. So I think they win because they are more talented than the other team. I'm going to say 31-26.
Nice. I like it.
I think it's going to be way closer than it should be. And if this past week's game was an indication, the second half play calling is going to be extremely conservative because I think they'll be up at halftime like 21-10 or something.
Dude, is this what it is? And then the second half is just whatever can happen. They come back and
it's been like 3 years of this, so I don't understand why it's the same shit over and over.
Yeah. All right.
The defense is not forcing turnovers.
No.
I would like them to get a turnover.
Yeah.
Like I said on Bobby Wagner, he doesn't make mistakes, but he doesn't necessarily like have big plays, right?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't get many knockdowns. He doesn't he just is always in the right place at the right time and to make a tackle as soon as someone catches the ball or in the run game, he's great. He's really good.
But he's not really like a disturber guy, right?
He's not a big play.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Right.
Dunlap comes back and I hope our DNs fucking show up this week and put some pressure on Kirk Cousins.
It's so crazy how much of an impact on the game the D-line has.
It's insane. Giving a quarterback 2 to 3 extra seconds is fucking game changing. It just, you can go through another 2 of your reads, right? 1 or 2 extra reads.
You give the best athletes in the world another second or 2 to break and get open.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
I'm excited. I'm still excited. I'm still optimistic. They're going to get a W next week. And then we have a couple really big primetime games coming up. And that's going to be fun. And I think the Seahawks are going to beat some good teams this year. Stay tuned, Carl.
Stay tuned. Let's go.